Welcome to my video on transforming Studio Cell, whatever the hell it's called, Unicron. The reviews I've seen have said that it's really difficult. Some of them have failed to transform it, some of them have taken several days. So I'm here to redress the balance and tell you that actually the transformation is super easy, barely an inconvenience. This is not a review, this is just a transformation guide on getting it from robot to planet mode, but stay tuned to the end for some bonus tips on making transformation back to robot mode a little bit easier. Before we get started, I need to mention that I did make a couple of changes to this in order to make the transformation actually work, so it's unfortunate. Somebody on the forum mentioned trimming these hooks down, but I chose to remove the tabs at the top end here, and that makes it much easier to put together, whereas before it's just ridiculously hard. The other change I made is in this hole here, because that tab was just not going to go in. When transforming this for the first time, I recommend you do it without all of his spikes fitted, but if you have got them on, the first thing you want to do is fold them out of the way. The fingers need to be as curled as possible so that the fingertips go into that groove along the palm of his hand and the thumbs tuck in there. Straighten his elbows, but what you also need to do, this second elbow joint in the middle of his bicep, you can see that there's a gap here. You want to close that gap. And then, from a straight arm, click his second elbow joint, the main one, 2 clicks. And turn his hands so that the palms are outwards. Oh, that one's already clicked. You can see here that, hopefully you can see that this part and this part are not parallel. Then there's a slider joint in the shoulder that goes up. Then pull these out the way. Swing the collars out. Open up the yellow triangles. Bring them all the way to the front. Fold the whole collar assembly back so that you've got space to open up all of the rest of those. Close the horns, one in front, one behind. Rotate the head 90 degrees. Be careful that his beard doesn't catch on there. Rotating his head 90 degrees keeps the horns out of the way of these orange pieces. Now bring them to the front and peg them by sliding this half down onto that half. Pull out the chest pieces. Pull out these panels here, flip the horns over, swivel these over. This piece here is going to come up on top, that goes over there, and these 2 thingies there peg into what was his collar. There. Now rotate the blue section 90 degrees. Close, peg in, where is it? Something's got to peg into something here and I lost it. There we go. Peg those in there. Definitely need something to get in there and prise these pieces out, so crowbars at the ready. Flip up the hip skirts and try and rotate the hip panel without rotating the hips or his midsection. That goes round 90 degrees, and then fold the hip skirts on the outside hinge so that they're back in the normal position, and then push them all the way down into there. Fold the toes and the next bit and the last bit of his foot in. Extend the ankles a couple of clicks. Swivel his side feet pieces round so that the blue side is facing the back of his leg. Disconnect these three sections in the back of his leg. We want to pivot it out on the orange piece, rotate it on the ball joint, swivel it on the pin joint. No, you don't. You don't want to do some of that. I'll get it right on the other side. Maybe. This bit always confuses me, to be honest. Disconnect the two segments. I'll show that again. Push up on that. Separate. There's a tab here on both of these pieces that goes into this groove here, so you need to pull that out, swivel it out on the orange piece, pivot it on the pin joint, and then the ball joint, you only need to use it a little bit. And the tab has got to go in to there. Always find this bit just a little bit fiddly. Rotate the lower legs halfway. I think my head got in the way of the camera there, sorry. Now you want to just separate these mango cubes on both sides, but leave them central. You're going to need that for clearance. Now rotate, bring the leg up to the side and rotate at the inside joint there. Now rotate at the thigh swivel so that these painted pistons and his knee are facing upwards. The back of his knee is in there, remember. You're going to disconnect these bits, swivel these plates around here. These grey arms, you want those to be pointing backwards so that they swing in that direction. Pull out on the middle of the knee sections to separate it. That way, turn it about 45 degrees on this pivot in here, and then you've got a tab, this tab into the corresponding hole. There. Make sure the thigh joint is going to pivot straight up. Keep your chest pieces out of the way. Pull out on this bit here, and flip out the inside panel, swivel that around. I had to restart the camera because it cut off. This doesn't count as a cut edit, Bobby. So we've kept the mango segments in the middle so that when we slide the lower leg over the thigh, there's plenty of room for these spikes here to pass by. Then when it's fully collapsed, we can bend it on that joint near the upper thigh. Before you run out of space, pull the mango segments all the way to the side and close this up. And it's at this point that I realise that I've missed a step, but it's okay. We've got to extend this blue section here, so I'm going to stick my fingers in those holes, grab hold of the top section and pull it with or with my mic, because for some reason on this it is really stiff. Oh, that was actually really easy that time. Don't know why. Okay, now we need to connect these connectors to these tabs. Be careful and make sure that the tab does go into the centre of the connector and not underneath. You need to keep these out of the way. You can pivot those down, and you should actually be able to see by looking across there, which I can't possibly show on camera. So my ankle joint is a little bit too extended. I want to collapse it a little bit, but not completely. I'll explain why soon. So now I can see that my connector is in the right place on both sides. Push, and yeah, that's in. And the foot section is gone. There's a lip there, and the foot has gone underneath it. Now, put those in the right place, peg that back in if it's come out. Push the two edge pieces so that it doesn't all come untabbed. Push that in, make sure that it's not binding on any of the other foot pieces or these panels here. And this is why we've left the foot, the ankle extended. This wedge tab needs to go into that wedge hole. There. Now we collapse the ankle completely, and that's locked in place. These pieces don't normally come out as often as this. Perhaps it's because I'm talking. Okay, this panel needs to go around there, and you need to kind of thread it in like this, because the edge of this tab has got to go under that corner there. Like that, and that tabs in nicely. Now, you need your crowbar to get this tab out. Don't know why it's out on that side. And then there are tabs there and there. That closes down, that tabs in there as well. That's going to go under there. You might need to reconnect it after that. Okay, just pull those over there. We're not going to tab any of these things in. We'll tuck these like that. There's no point tabbing them in at this point because they will not stay. So, round to the other side. Get the other way. I'm holding on to it. Whoops. I'm holding on to it here. Rotate it so that this extra upper thigh joint is facing inwards. Then into the slip, rotate that hip joint so that it's facing upwards. Disconnect this section by pulling from the middle and sort of jiggling it, because you've got to disconnect on this side and it's sometimes a bit awkward. Get these out of the way. These grey pieces, remember, they need to be articulating that way. Swivel these plates here. Doesn't matter if you don't have those in the right alignment, because you've got plenty of time to sort it out later. These clear tabs need to go into the holes. I find they don't go in unless I've got a really good view of what I'm doing, but they do come out very, very easily. Make sure we've got the ankle slightly extended, and now make sure these mango segments are disconnected but central. Now we can see that's come out easily. Okay, when we disconnect the plates on the back of the leg, that frees up the slider joint here. Slide it all the way in, then bend it at that upper thigh joint. Okay. Pull the mango segments out of the way. Make sure that's out of the way. Finish closing the leg up, and then peg in those little grey things. Oops, make sure these feet pieces are pointing in the right direction. Push that in a bit. Never had these pop out on me before. That's in, and that's in. Then push that closed, put that wedge-shaped thingy into the hole, and collapse the ankle there. And peg that in yet again. Okay. Hole, tab, thread it in so that tabs here go under. Close that, put that tab in. I pull this way with 2 fingers and push that way with your thumb, but if you've got very small hands you might find that rather awkward. Okay, now here is the step that I almost always forget. We've got to tab these mango segments into the legs, and probably can't show it, but there is a tab, round peg there, and a hole somewhere around there, and it's really just a case of fiddling around. So it's got to be the edge at the corner of this mango segment has got to be really close to this yellowy orange line here. Make sure you do that on all 4, otherwise you won't be able to get the arms in place. Rotating the planet rings 90 degrees is helpful here. Rotate them. I've rotated them 90 degrees clockwise on both sides. That one went in nice and easily, and that one's gone in nice and easily. Okay, now's the time to balance it on your thighs, and we can sort out these arms. So disconnect these side pieces here. If you've got these spikes on, make sure you keep the spikes clear of the hinge. One reviewer had a breakage issue because he didn't know about this one simple trick. You have to slide this grey joint here that way. Now this flips up really easily and this tab is not in any danger of breaking. See, goes in and out, no problem. Then rotate this, rotate these 2 pieces. You've now got all your spikes on the same side. I rotated the hands in the wrong direction earlier, so they need to go in back of the hand first, but first you've got to fold that tab, that panel in, fold the hands in. You'll find them a little bit difficult to get out because there's just no clearance, so you're going to need to fiddle and jiggle like that. Then close that. You've got to get this section at just the right angle. That's not right. That plate wasn't properly closed. So you've got to get that parallel so that this slot fits this tab there. Again, my camera stopped. You've got to get this grey hinge extended and keep it there. Okay. You can open up the shoulders by pulling on the bottom here, but sometimes they stick. So crowbar in there will do the trick. Once you've opened those out, you can pull this panel out on a double hinge here, like that, and then this panel you want to push it down so that you can slide it up and over these 2 little round tabs here, and then you can open these out, swivel this around, close it down on there, make sure that this is pushed all the way down, and then see you've got a double hinge here. You close this and then push it over there so that this meets that. You need to lever this out. On these blue, I've swapped to the rear of the shoulders for the blue panels, and I found that these were really hard to get out. You have to poke them from the other side. What you want to do is hold these 2 plates together and push that one in. There's no way that this side is going to go in there, and the same on the other side, and I know that I'm not the only person with that problem, so it's not important. Now make sure the chest pieces are tucked under the foot piece but pushed out of the way. Keep these out of the way. Now what we've got to do is we've got to work multiple shoulder joints to get this up to there. It's just a case of jiggling it, kind of zigzagging your way in. And trying to get these little jigsaw like tabs on top goes in there, and then that needs to be pushed. If you look, I'm not going to be able to show this on camera, I don't think, but if you look up in there, you should be able to see that the orange shoulder piece is flush with blue torso piece. Now we've got to put this tab into a little hole in there. So we want to grab hold of this under there and just reconnect that tab. Pull down on this a little bit, and there's a central hole that's got to go. It's not going. Can't see what's wrong. Got my mango segments out of the way. Okay, there we go. Just need to push up on there. There we go. So that's in. Nice and secure. That's probably collapsed here. So pull that out. Now we want to slip that tab into the corresponding hole behind this grey section here. And then that will connect in there very easily. This, make sure that you've got this grey piece that articulates this way. That tab goes in that hole, and then that tab there goes in that hole. Normally pretty easily, and then that tab goes in there. I'm going to do the same on the other side. In there. That connects really easily. Blue tab, orange hole, light blue tab, blue hole, and that side there. Okay, so then flip up your hip skirts, fold out those, fold out those, fold out those, swing that closed, and all you've got to do is put the tab under there in that hole. You have to sort of push it that way. Line up and push it that way. Now, rest it gently on your legs. We do the same on the other side. We don't want to apply any pressure that way for fear of popping out those things that we've just put in. This is pivoting the wrong way, so we need to make sure these articulate that way. And this mango segment is disconnected. That will stop the arm going in. Okay, separate your arm panels. Pull up on this grey slider here so that you can open this up. Make space, swivel that round, swivel those round, get that out of the way, fold that plate in, hand goes in backwards first. Close this and lock that tab into that hole. There. Now, pull out on those shoulder panels and pull this whole section. It just swivels down on that joint there. Then, push that down, slide it up and over on that double hinge so that you get clearance here. Pull these out. Rotate this section. Close it down, push it down there. Now close this down and then push it over to clear those things again. Get your crowbar, pull this one out. Again, the one on my left will go in, the one on my right, not a chance. Now, work that shoulder joint. And try and get those tabs in on top. Try and push that section in. Looks like, by looking in there, that looks. I think that's okay. Now we've got to pull these out so I can grab hold of his crotch. That's not something I thought I'd be saying again today. That round peg in there has got to go into that hole in the centre there. Make sure that hasn't collapsed. That'll affect that connecting to there later. Now I've got to put that blue tab into the hole behind this grey thingy here. Like that, and that has pegged itself in on that side. itself in. That goes in there. Try and keep your head out of the way of the camera, Michael. There. Flip out all of these thingies and sort of stretch it into the hole. Now, flip up this. You've got to put this tab here that we were talking about not breaking here. That's got to go into the hole there. So we put that down, push it in. It's not a particularly good connection. Get these spikes out of the way, unless you took my advice and didn't have them on. Straighten that out and bring this piece that's got the pivot in it over the top. So on the other side we've got to put that into there. And it won't work if this is collapsed, which it has. There we go. I have not. There, so kind of. No. See, that's not right. There we go, that's in. So look for the one with the pivot, swing it over there, straighten that ratchet, and now because I've taken off the tabs at the top, I can slot it into the hole in his North Pole, and those tabs will go together, and that hook just goes together very easily. Squeeze that together. Same on this side. Stick those in his South Pole hole, so to speak. Come on, you little... Oh, don't bother. No, it does need to go in, doesn't it? Yeah. A slight tapering on that hole would have been good, wouldn't it? Damn it. Oh, for goodness sake. Yeah. There we go. Nice. And make sure that's pushed in. And then arrange your horns as you see fit. And pull out your spikes. Here are some bonus tips to get you started on transforming him back to robot mode. Get the shell split open by putting something into this little hole here by this thruster and pushing up on the piece that's closest to this mini city. Once you've done that for all four, you can carefully rest it on your leg and then fold all the tabs in. Then it's just a case of disconnecting these things here. Get your spudger or whatever, push down on this piece here while holding the orange piece firm, and twist like that. Getting the leg out of planet mode is very easy once you know how. Disconnect this grey hinge, disconnect this plate, swivel it round, tap hole, pull up on this section, swivel this plate around, tab hole on both sides. Now pull up on this foot, just a click. That will free up this section here so that you can pull out the rear of the foot section. Now, it's very important at this stage that you make sure you've got your mango segments disconnected on both sides. Oh, look at this. Yum. Now you've got to disconnect those little grey tabs that are hidden inside. Pull the leg down, a couple of clicks on that main hip joint. Put your mango segments into the middle, you can peg them into the body. That gives you clearance so that you can slide out the leg like so. When putting the horns, there are many cases of the horns being buckled sideways, which is an easy fix, but the transformation is probably going to cause it to happen again and again unless you do this. The horn is actually pointing into the ball joint of the other horn on the other side, and that will stop it from getting pushed sideways and buckled.